Hello everyone, my name is Oriana Balbi. My presentation is going to be about modern day heroes, Venezuela edition, just because I come from Venezuela and this is something that's very close to home, so I chose to speak about this. So according to Peace and Bardo, I was looking at some interviews of his, and he defines a hero as someone that does service to others in need, engages in it voluntarily, with the recognition of possible risk and cost, and he or she accepts the anticipated sacrifice, and he or she performs it without external gain. So that is what I based myself off to do my presentation. So just to have a little background, Venezuela is a country that is located in South America, Latin America. It has a lot of geographic diversity and the biggest known oil reserves in the world. I lived there until I was 18 years old, and I moved to Cincinnati to go to school, basically. So lately, there has been problems, and this is actually the reason why I am here today. There's political, social, and economical crisis due to the government of Nicolas Maduro and Hugo Chavez. There's no food, medicine, or basic needs covered. There's a lot of insecurity. There's no free speech for those that don't agree with the government. And because of all this, there's social unrest. And to make it all worse, there's hyperinflation. So for those that can find food and medicine, sometimes they can't even afford it. This all results in protests for food and water and medicine, extreme poverty. So you've got people eating off trash and garbage. You've got malnutrition, and illnesses that we had eradicated are coming back now. There's increased insecurity, lower quality of life, and in the protests, there's usually police brutality. So this is a basic cycle in the protests, just so you understand why my heroes exist and why they're there. So usually in protest against the government are not allowed. So police officers usually resort to violence to quiet them down. They use water tanks, tear gas, bird shots. They use anything that they can get their hands on. And thus protesters get killed or hurt. And that's when the Pacific protests turned violent. These are some pictures so you can see. They have huge tanks, and they shoot tear gas canisters right to the head of people. It gets really, really bad. So my heroes are the Cruz Verde volunteers, and they're the on-site first responders. They're conformed of medical doctors, nurses, health profession students, first aid personnel, EMTs, basically anyone that has any medical expertise and wants to go to these protests and help the injured people. They also do this with very limited resources. Sometimes they even have to bring stuff from their homes. So that's really, I really admire that. That shield says doctors right there. You can see them with their masks and their helmets for protection. They basically risk their lives to save others. The most common casualties are respiratory issues. Because of a tear gas, people have respiratory failure. They pass out. Anyone that doesn't have a mask is at risk of having difficulties breathing, even bystanders, animals, and including the people in the protests. So that you can see them actually helping people, and they're spraying some solution that actually helps calm the irritation caused by the tear gas. They also help people that have suffered traumatic injuries, such as fractures because of bird shots, tear gas canister fractures, burn victims. You can see here protesters, when they get violent, they usually use Molotov bombs and fire barricades to keep the police off site. And sometimes people get hurt. You can see in this picture that there's a police tank running over a protester, so he was very injured after the fact, and they rushed them to a hospital. And in this picture, you can see that they're literally risking their lives. Some of them get injured, some of them have even passed away because of the duty that they're doing for their people. So I just really admired them, and I wanted to get their story heard, and for people to know them better. Thank you very much, and that's it. Thank you so much.